Hello everyone, myself Falguni. Welcome to our channel. Today we are going to discuss about Unit Lesson 3 Journey to the End of the Earth from book VISTAS. Present lesson has been written by Tisani Doshi. Before you read, let's read it. If you want to know more about the planet's past, present and future, the Antarctica is the place to go to bon voyage. So in present lesson, it revolves around the world's most preserved place, Antarctica. Not many people have been there, but out of the few that have, Tisani Doshi is one of them, and a South Indian person who went on an expedition with a group of teenagers affiliated with Students on Ice program who takes young minds to different ends of the world. Thus, it gives an insight into how Antarctica is the place you should visit to have a glimpse of the present, past and future in the realist form. That's why Tisani Doshi in this present lesson also insists us that we should visit it once. Let's see here. Early this year, I found myself aboard a Russian research vessel, the academic Slokaski, heading towards the coolest, driest, windiest continent in the world, Antarctica. My journey began 13.09 degree north of the equator in Madras and involved crossing 9 time zones, 6 checkposts, 3 bodies of water and at least as many ecospheres. So here Tisani starts his journey and also describe that how he began his journey. 13.9 degree north of the equator in Madras. Then he crossed 9 time zones, 6 checkposts, 3 bodies of water and at least as many as ecosphere. Now ecosphere यानी कि part of the universe habitable by living organisms. So in the beginning, the author talks about his journey to the end of the coolest, driest, windiest continent on earth and the name Antarctica. He went there on a Russian research vessel known as the academic Slokaski. The author is a South Indian man. Here we can see this place also. And man who began his journey from Madras on his voyage, yani ki journey, he crossed 9 time zones. This will be asked in MCQ. 9 time zones, 6 checkposts, 3 water bodies and just as many as ecosphere. As we know, ecosphere yani ki a place of living organism. By that time, I actually set foot on the Antarctic continent. I had been traveling over 100 hours in combination of a car, an airplane and sea. So my first emotion on facing Antarctica's expansive white landscape and uninterrupted blue horizon was relief, followed up with an immediate and profound wonder. So expansive, here the word we have, yani ki covering wide area in terms of space or scope. Like here he start journey with car and airplane and it's continuous journey. The next word is profound wonder. Profound yani ki very great or intense. Wonder at its immensity, its isolation yani ki separation, but mainly at how there could ever have been a time when India and Antarctica were part of the same landmass. So here the narrator started his journey from Madras as he was actually is a South Indian man. So start with that car, then airplane and then sea. Landmass यानी कि a continent or other large body of land. Doesn't matter that he belonged to India and right now in Antarctica, but were part of the same landmass. So let's see what the author want to say in this para. The author said that it took time about hundreds of hours of combined traveling by car, airplane and ship, and to reach the continent. Which continent? Antarctica. So when he first set his feet on the continent, he felt almost relieved that finally I am here. Finally there is an end of long journey. And it was all white as far as his eyes could see. The sight of the blue horizon was also very comforting. Like it gives relief to their eyes. Next emotion that the narrator found that the wonderment. He was astonished by the fact that there were once a time when India and Antarctica were geographically connected. It's were. Once a time, not right now. So he was surprised to see that beauty and also amazed that once the both India and Antarctica was geographically connected. Now part of history, let's see in this part of history, 650 million years ago, a giant amalgamate southern supercontinent Gondwana did indeed exist, centered roughly around the present day and Antarctica. Things were quite different then. Humans hadn't arrived on the global scene and the climate was much warmer, hosting a huge variety of flora and fauna. For 500 million years, Gondwana thrived, but around the time when the dinosaurs were wiped out and the age of mammals got underway, the landmass was forced to separate into countries, shaping the globe as much as we know it today. We have word here, amalgamated. It means combine or unite to form one structure. Next, supercontinent. Supercontinent, it means a former large continent from which other continents are held to have broken off and drifted away. Like once upon it was a one place, but with time it was separated. So before it separated, it was a supercontinent. Then we have next word, fauna and flora. It means beauty and wildlife. The hosting a huge variety of beauty there. The 500 million years Gondwana thrived. Gondwana is the name of the place and thrived. It means prosperous or flourish. It's completely fertile with different type of plants and wildlife and all this. But around the time when the dinosaurs were wiped out, when the dinosaurs wipe out, with it, the age of mammals got underway and the landmass and the area was forced to separate into countries, which right now we can, in present time we can see. So narrator says that million of years ago there was a supercontinent known as Gondwana, from which Antarctica and India are supposed to have been parted off. And the situation, however, was completely different from how it is right now. There were no humans and the climate was warmer, which have given to huge varieties of flora and fauna. It's story before 500 years ago, as in the beginning we have title, past history. Gondwana flourished for 500 million years until dinosaurs got extinct and the human being came into the existence. So with the human's existence, the beauty of the and continent was also vanished. The huge continent was the force into separation to form countries and the world as we know of it today. It's completely divided in different countries, but once upon a time it was a one place. To visit Antarctica now is to be a part of that history, to get a grasp of where we have come from and where we could possibly be heading. It's to understand the significance of coralline folds and pre-Columbian granite sills, ozone and carbon, evolution and extinction, when you think about all that can happen in a million years, it can get pretty mind-boggling. Imagine India pushing northwards, jamming against Asia to buckle its crust and form the Himalayas, South America drifting off to join North America, opening up the drag passage to create a cold circumpolar current, keeping Antarctica frigid, desolate, and at the bottom of the world. Here the narrator expresses the history that how it's separated and which area connect to which place and how it's come to know as a newer place. So let's see. First we have here the word Cordilleran Fold. Cordilleran Fold यानी कि an extensive chain of mountains or mountain ranges. And the pre-Columbian granite sills यानी कि large areas of relatively low elevation that forms part of continent masses. The word first one is this, second one this one. Now we have word third one is mind-boggling. Mind-boggling यानी कि startling or overwhelming. Next one frigid. Antarctica frigid. Frigid यानी कि very cold in temperature. As the narrator said previous time, it was a warmer place, not this much cold. Desolate, it also means that uninhabited and giving an impression of bleak emptiness. But it's desolate place right now. But years ago there were plants and beauty was there when humans not in existence, but with the human's existence it's also changed. So according to author, if one wants to have the glimpse of the history and from where we have originated along with where we are headed, right now we are here, but if we are interested to know about our history, then Antarctica is the right place. It is the best place to research and understand about the mountain ranges and low elevations continents, ozones and carbon, evolution and extinction, how the things extinct, like dinosaur is just in movies and stories right now. It is capable of giving an insight of the future and that can be really startling is surprising or overwhelming. For a sun worshipping South Indian like myself, 2 weeks in a place where 90% of the Earth's total ice volumes are stored is a chilling prospect, here in bracket, not just for circulatory and metabolic functions but also for the imagination. It's like walking into the giant ping pong ball devoid of any human markers, no trees, billboards, buildings. So here the narrator says to imagine the thing. How imagine the thing? It was very difficult experience for the narrator as he's being from the South India and the sun worshipping man. Yani ki every day as we know, like some people urge sun with water. It was hard for him to anyone else to imagine living in a place where 90% of the Earth's total ice volume are stored. Is it possible that you are completely living in warmer place from last 25 or 30 years and suddenly for a few days or a month you are in completely colder place? It's tough to survive there or live there. Not only biologically or physically difficult but also for imagination. हम लोग इमेज भी लाइक ओके हम लोग इमेजिंग में तो हम लोग बहुत एंजॉय करेंगे यार बहुत अच्छा चलो इतनी गर्मी से तो हम लोग फ्री हो जाएंगे लेकिन नो व्हेन वी रियली इन that situation, that time we can exactly say it's too tough. And the place is also untouched by the humans and their inventions. It gives an experience that makes you forget about all the other things. When there is like no things, no trees, no billboards, no buildings, definitely it's untouched by the human. You lose all earthly sense of perspective and time here. The visual scale range from the microscopic to the mighty midges and mites to blue whales and icebergs as big as countries. The largest recorded was the rise of the Belgium. Days to go and on On its usual 24 hours austral summer light and a ubiquitous silence interrupted once by the occasional avalanche or calving acid concepts the place. It's an immersion that will force you to place yourself in the context of the Earth's geological history, and for humans, the prognosis isn't good. So, narrator said that the first compare that it's tough to live here as he lived in that South India, and right now it's a 90% of the Earth's total ice volume are stored. Then he further said that from small creatures like midges and mites to huge creatures like blue whale and icebergs as big as countries, everything can be found in Antarctica. Days are never ending with sunlight all the time falling on the south hemisphere. It is such a quiet place, interrupted only by falling mass of snow rapidly down a mountain. Like sometimes rapid snowfall, only you have interruption of it, otherwise no interruption. It is sitting that forces you to ponder upon Earth's geological history and helps you forces future, which for humans doesn't mean very pleasant. So next one is here the human as impact. Let's see point of view by the author in the human impact. Human civilizations have been around for a paltry 12,000 years, barely a few seconds on the geological clock. In that short amount of time, we have managed to create quite a ruckus, eking out dominance over nature with our village, towns, cities, megacities. The rapid increase of human population has left us battling with other species for limited resources, and the unmitigated burning of fossil fuel has now created a blanket of carbon dioxide around the world, which is slowly but surely increasing the average global temperature. So here the narrator says the paltry. Here you can see the word. Paltry, it means pretty, insignificant. The next you have word ruckus, it means a row or commotion. Itching, यानी कि engraved and unmitigated. The word, it means unconditional. Right now as we are living, definitely the situation is completely worse in the future. So the unmitigated burning, यानी कि unconditional burning of fossil fuel. So let's see by the point of view of the author. The author said that the human life on earth has been since pretty 12,000 years, which converts into a few seconds on a geological clock. In merely this less time, humans have managed to exploit each and every resources. Like if we need more space, we cut the trees and that start building like malls and theaters and all that. And every increasing human population is robbing other species on the necessity of their survival. If as well as we have a one chain and we have to maintain it, but just because of the population of human, that imbalance we can also see. Not to forget about the unlimited exploitations of fossil fuel that have created a blanket of carbon dioxide, blanket of like a cover of carbon dioxide around the planet, which is further increasing the average global temperature. Is it good for us? Definitely, it's not. In next para, the author says that climate change is one of the most hotly contested environment debates of our time. Will the West Antarctic ice sheet melt entirely? Will the Gulf Stream ocean current be disrupted? Will it be the end of world as we know it? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, Antarctica is a crucial element in this debate, not just because it's the only place in the world which has never sustained a human population and therefore remains relatively pristine in this respect. But more importantly, because it holds on its ice cores half-million-year-old carbon records trapped in the layer of ice, if we want to study and examine the Earth's past, present and future, Antarctica is a place to go. So here narrator exactly present why we should visit Antarctica. Pristine, it meaning is in its original condition. If we want to see the original condition of something, then we should visit Antarctica. So narrator, yani author said that global warming and climate change are a highly priority concern about these days. And even sometimes we can see on the newspaper and the news channel also, there is a debate about global warming. Like questions we can see or hear like melting of Antarctic sheet, disruption of Gulf Stream ocean, how the world will end. And most important, not only because it is people choose it as debate topic, just not because it's untouched by human existence or human inhabitants, but also because of the ice core's half-million-years old carbon record trapped in this layer of ice or snow. According to the author, if one wishes to study and analyze the Earth's past, present and future, then one must go to this place to know exact history of human existence or about Earth. Students on ICE, the program I was working with on this Lukaski, aims to exactly this by taking high school students to the ends of the world and providing them with inspiring educational opportunities which will help them foster a few understanding and respect for other planet. It's been in operation for 6 years now and headed by Canadian Jolf Green, who got tired of carting celebrities and retired rich curiosity seekers who could only give back in a limited way. With students on ICE, he offers the future generation of policymakers a life-changing experience at an age when they are ready to absorb, learn and most important, act. So here author said that he visited that place with the program of student on ICE. He also mentioned here that why he run this program. Let's see. The author has been in Antarctica on an expedition with students with the program of student on ICE. Why? Because that takes young mind to the end of the world, which makes or helps and inspire them to work towards other planet or respect towards our planet and as well as others. It was started with the vision of providing life-changing experience to the future generation, or the word is policymaker. Why? Because if they understand that the past and present of the earth and they are the future of earth, so they can change it. They can make policies how they want to sustain or how they want to control the population and pollution. And they also learn about the planet at a very early age, and which is most important to them, because as the narrator said that he took the students of the high school students, and the initiative was introduced by Jolf Green, who got tired of his regular job, and once he got rich and wanted to give it back in the some way. Yani ki he want to give something to the new generation and to the earth. Why? Because he was also curious and want to change something for the future generation. The reason the program has been so successful is because it's impossible to go anywhere near the South Pole and not be affected by it. It's easy to be blaze about polar ice caps melting white sitting in the comfort zone of our respective latitude and longitude. But when you can visibly see glaciers retreat and ice shelves collapsing, you begin to realize that the threat of global warming is very real. Here you can see in the picture that how they continue their journey. So the author, in author's word, the author say that blaze यानी कि and unimpressed with or indifficult to something because one has experienced or seen it so often before. The program Students on Ice has been immensely successful in impaneling its vision by the way people get affected by seeing the real scenario, because it is very easy to sit at home and talk about the real issues. If I am the PM, then I will do this and that. It's very easy to advise, but it's tough to act. But actually seeing glaciers retreating and ice shelves collapsing, it gives you a real glimpse and real sense that how you can act in future. And it tells you that the very threat of global warming is real. It's not only that any debate topic, but it's really topic to be think about. Antarctica, because of her simple ecosystem and lack of biodiversity, is the perfect place to study how little changes in the environment can have big repercussions. Take the microscopic phytoplankton, those grasses of, you have to remember this meaning, those grasses of the sea that nourish and sustain the entire southern ocean's food chain. These single cell plants use the sun's energy to assimilate carbon and synthesize organic compounds in that wondrous and most important of processes called photosynthesis. Scientists warn that a further depletion in the ozone layer will affect the activities of phytoplankton, which in turn will affect the lives of all the marine animals and birds of the region and the global carbon cycle. In the parable of the phytoplankton, there is a great metaphor for existence. Take care of the small things and the big things will fall into place. So here the author says that it is one of those places with limited biodiversity, and thus as a less complicated ecosystem. As a result, little changes in its environment can have drastic effect. If you change little one, it will give you a big result. For instance, the microscopic phytoplankton are glaciers of sea and that sustain the entire southern ocean's food chain. What is that phytoplankton here? The glaciers of sea and that sustain the entire southern ocean's food chain. Now it has been recently concluded by the scientists that the further depletion in the ozone layer can affect the activities of the single coal plants and affect the marine life altogether because it's connected with the ocean's food chain. समझ में आ रहा है? जो पूरा जो सिस्टम है, अगर ओजन में थोड़ा सा भी चेंज आता है तो डायरेक्टली ऐसा लाइक इफेक्ट कहाँ पे आएगा? दिस फाइटोप्लैंक्टन वो क्या है? तो ग्रासेस ऑफ द सी है जहाँ पे पूरी जो ओशन चेन है वहाँ से मेंटेन होती है. तो यहाँ पे जो इस प्लांट में अगर अफेक्ट होगा तो पूरी फूड चेन पे इफेक्ट होगा एंड ऑल्सो इट्स डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली अफेक्ट टू द मरीन लाइफ. Thus, in this case, the saying comes true, take care of the small things and the big things will fall into place. If we just kill insects, then definitely, indirectly, we are harming us, not to them. Next point is walk on the ocean. My Antarctic experience was full of such epiphanies, but the best occurred just short of the Antarctic Circle at 65.55 degrees south. The Slokarsky had managed to wedge herself into a thick white stretch of ice between the peninsula and Tadpole Island, which was preventing us from going any further. The captain decided that we were going to turn around and head back north, but before we did, we were all instructed to climb down the gangplank and walk on the ocean. So there we are, all 52 of us. So total there were 52 in a group, knitted out in good tags and glares, walking on a stark whiteness that seemed to spread out forever. So here further narrator says that for all it took for him to travel from Madras to Antarctica and 9 time zone, check posts, various bodies of water, the author pondered upon the capacity of nature to maintain its balance. And first of all, he said that we wanted to travel somewhere else, but we instructed to climb down towards the gangplank and walk on the ocean. Underneath our feet was a matter thick ice pack, and underneath that 180 meters of living, breathing salt water. Here there is a description of sea. In the periphery, carapace sills were stretching and sunning themselves on the ice floes, much like stray dogs would do under the shades of a banyan tree. It was nothing sort of a revelation. Everything does indeed contact. So यहाँ पे narrator बोल रहे हैं कि it was completely a different experience for them. It's a 9 time zone, 6 checkposts, 3 bodies of water, and many ecosphere later, I was still wondering about the beauty of balance and play on our planet. How would it be if Antarctica were to become the warm place that it once used to be? Will we be around to see it? Or would we have gone the way of these dinosaurs, mammoths, thors, and woolly rhinos? Who's to say? But after spending 2 weeks with a bunch of teenagers who still have the idealism to save the world, all I can say is that a lot can happen in a million years, but what a difference a day makes. So in the last one, narrator asks that what happen if the Antarctica become again the warmer place? If the Antarctica become a warmer place, we are here to see. Because if the snow melt on Antarctica, then is it the big question on our existence. So that's why he said that he wondered that if would be like if Antarctica, the place that house over 90% of world's ice, become warm again, and he wonders if we will be there to see it if it ever happened. But who knows? This by seeing the spirit of teenagers who has still believing in idealism, who has new ideas. Maybe they have courage to save the world. And he talks about the uncertainty of events that can happen over a million years. बहुत रेयर केसेस में ऐसा होता है कि अगर कुछ हुआ भी, देयर इज़ अ बिग क्वेश्चन, हम लोग यहाँ पे होंगे या नहीं होंगे उस चेंज को देखने के लिए. बिकॉज सडनली अगर वो स्नो मेल्ट होता है तो देयर इज़ नो चांस टू बी सर्वाइव हियर. So students, this one is the end of our lesson, journey to the end of the earth. We will meet you soon with new topic in next chapter. Till then, keep watching our channel, like us. Thank you.